Hello, everybody, peeps. As
Hello,
Herrenfield
hello,
used to
hello.
say back in the day. Welcome to This Is Mappa, another review show. I'm Stel. I've got Thassos here. Good
Hello.
evening,
How
young
you
man.
doing? You right?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, just extremely intrigued to hear what you have to say for this week, because last week we had a lot to say, a lot to analyze, a lot to dissect. And do you know what I love about the Protathlima? I keep saying this to my friends. No matter what happens in the Premier League or Serie A or La Liga, whichever main league there is, right? There'll be one incident and they'll talk about it for days. But in Cyprus, there's like a shelf life for a particular story because it doesn't ramble on unless there's some longevity to it. And the reason why it doesn't ramble on is because something else will happen in the middle. And that's what we get every week.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been
It's like a 40-car pile up, except each car's coming, after an hour. There's three of them crash into each other, and you go, "Oh my god!" And then somebody should do something about that, and then another three cars go into it afterwards, and all you can do is watch.
That's pretty much like London streets in the snow because they don't put salt down.
Yeah, it's the same thing here, but in France, it's most roads. It's not just like, they barely have any gritters. So every time there's snow, it's chaos, absolute chaos.
Chaos. Just like the
Chaos.
Protathlima. There you go.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
All right. Let's begin. I'll tell you what, let's talk about the top of the table clash.
Let's do that. Yeah.
Top of the table clash. APOEL beating Buffer. The streak is over.
Yeah,
2-1 victory.
Yeah, Buffer are finally beaten. We spoke about them last week. I mentioned about them. Maybe, you start off with one of those games, you get a second one of those games, you get a third one, and then it starts to look like a bad run of form. They've gone from being unbeaten in 13 to now not winning in 3. Yep. So, but if you look at the highlights and look at the chances created and the rest of it, it was again one of those games, wasn't it, for them?
They had a chance early on before going a goal down. It was Suzic that gave APOEL the lead. He scored 2 in this one, both of them from set pieces, which I'm sure as Henning Berg, as a former centre back himself, he'll be absolutely livid with the defending for both goals. But I don't really think Buffer did enough to get anything out of it, to be honest, man. I don't remember the goalkeeper having to make many saves.
No, he didn't. He didn't have many saves to make. A lot of Bafos chances were more what was going on there. But yeah, kind of the finishing. I don't know what went on with the finishing. Gyro, for instance, Gyro missing that shot there. So this is the second goal. 2 completely free headers. Yeah, it's like. I don't know what it is. Why defenders can't head the ball for shit in this league, except if you're going up for a corner. But yeah, I don't get the zonal marking that all these teams seem to be using. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It might work, in other leagues with better quality players, but it doesn't work here. Pick a man, stick with him. Grab him by the arse. Make sure he doesn't move. Do something. Don't just sit there and my area is clear. I'm not going to do anything. It is what it is.
Yeah. I don't know if you watched the whole game, but I watched the first 25 minutes to half an hour. And the first APOEL goal originally came from the corner that the right back, instead of heading it away from danger, he's tried to head it back to the goalkeeper and he's put it out for a corner. And that's where the goal came from. But comedy of errors and quite ironically, Kvida, who was kind of responsible for the second goal for not picking up Susic, they announced he signed a new contract before the game, a 3-year deal, and Dubov thanked his wife, the player's wife.
Yeah. I saw that on Instagram. I said to my wife as well, like, what's that about? What's that about? Is she his agent or something? What's the deal there? Yeah, I don't know what's going on there.
Quite interesting one.
But
There was one
yeah,
moment here, the red card.
yeah,
Are you surprised that was given to Crespo, final man?
it's. I mean, I can see why it was given. He was the last man. I don't know. I don't think he's blocking a goal scoring opportunity, but you know, there's different interpretations of the rule, isn't it? I don't think it was a red, but I think it was. It wasn't a straight red, was it? It was his second yellow, wasn't it?
Second yellow, yeah.
Yeah. So maybe it warranted the yellow card, but no, not a straight red.
All half
yeah,
chances for Buffalo, really, mate. I think they'll be quite frustrated that they weren't able to create anything clear cut.
They needed to get them on target. They needed to get them on target, and they weren't getting them.
Yeah,
You know, it looks like everybody was taking a book out of Semedo's, taking a page out of Semedo's book, missing all those chances. But yeah, I mean, you know, we can't take it away from APOEL.
He's got to score there, hasn't he? He's got to score there.
To score that.
Tankovic, you'd have bet your mortgage on him putting that away.
Yeah, he really messed that up. But yeah, so kind of on APOEL's side, 8 wins in a row. They're getting goals from everywhere. They kind of need to get goals from everywhere because their strikers, between the lot of them, have got 3. So they
one of them's gone. Maglitsa's gone. They released him.
Well, yeah, but Maglitsa didn't score any.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He was one of the strikers.
But you know, Donis is injured. He's got 2. Italia has only got 1 in 10 games. So you know they're having to deal with more of the people like Marquinhos, who's got 5, and Susic. He's bringing them out from the corners. He's got 3, including the 2 that he scored this week. So, you know, the APOEL. Do you think they could be? Do you think they could be stopped?
It's difficult to say right now. I know a lot of OMONIA others I've spoken to, they've basically just said, yeah, they've won the title because with APOEL top of the league, a lot of the officials will want them to win the title. And while we know that corruption is rife in Cyprus, I think it's too tight to say, yeah, they're definitely going to go on to win it. I think ARIS have got a lot to say. I still think Buffalo got a lot to say. Even AEK have got a lot to say when it comes to the title. So I think it's a bit premature to say that APOEL are going to walk away with the title now. That being said, as you mentioned, 8 wins in a row. I think they've got ANORTHOSIS next, if I'm not mistaken. ANORTHOSIS without Vada, ANORTHOSIS not being able to score goals now. I can't see them not making it 9 wins on the bounce. So it's very difficult to say, but again, it's a marathon, not a sprint, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the only thing that's probably going to hold them back is Crespo missing the game.
It's only one though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's only 1. But I don't know if it works the same as with the yellows. You know, you can pick which one of the next 2 games to miss. I don't know if it works the same with the red cards as well. But yeah, they're kind of marching on, aren't they?
Absolutely.
But yeah, that strike force needs improving. You know, there's a lot of rumors going around about getting a striker, and they need him. They need a striker.
Well, let's go quickly back to Maglitsa, the guy that did quite well at APOLLON in the first place, and he left and he came back to Cyprus with APOEL. Have you seen some of the goodbye messages from supporters when his departure was announced?
No, I've not seen them. Have you got some for me?
Well, one of them directly was translated to "Thanks for being absent from everywhere." One was "Ganedon bye bye," which says bye. Ευχαριστούμε για τόσα σημαντικά goal. Thank you for so many important goals. The one goes, "Entha klapsume kiolas." We're not gonna cry.
Oh dear.
Where's the other one? I need to find this other one because unfortunately he won't be eating gingerbread and gurapiades this year. Oh my god! Honestly, like as much as the APOEL fans and I have a love-hate relationship, I mean, their humor is sublime when it comes to this one. I feel sorry for the guy because he wasn't hiding to nothing joining. I mean, let's get it right. He had to overcome the shock departure of New Who and what's his name? James Garner.
Yeah.
Joe Garner, whatever his name
Joe
was.
Garner.
Garner, yeah. So he had to overcome that test of replacing those big shoes.
Oh wow!
And then,
right.
mate, he's been a disaster, hasn't he? Let's get it right.
He really has, but all that strike force has, like even Ilya, he probably did only come in to be kind of backup. He's only on loan as well.
Yeah.
But he's only come in to be backup, but he's done nothing with it. Italia is not kicked on at all, whether it's because of injuries or, like you were saying, international breaks or whatever else.
I think it's the injuries, mate. I think it's the injuries because I remember he did very well at ANORTHOSIS, but there were still spells where he was on the sideline as a result of injuries. And I think these injuries originated from his time in Belgium, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
So he clearly hasn't got over it. And look, let's get it right. No disrespect to ANORTHOSIS, but the pressure at APOEL is much more intense. That's my opinion, anyway.
Yeah. So I mean, it's the same with some of these other teams with their strikers. It's a confidence issue, isn't it? You miss one, you miss two, and you go 3-4 games without a goal. It starts to play on your confidence. You know, rather than going in there and attacking every ball, you're kind of waiting for that clear-cut opportunity. You know, easy to pop in. So you end up kind of going missing from games sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, before we move on, I don't really think there's anything much to discuss when it comes to Buffer. We know that they're still in the hunt for the title. We know that it's their first loss of the season. Obviously, this was their first big test.
Mm-hmm.
They failed. That being said, to go 13 games unbeaten at the beginning of the league season in Cyprus, you can't really turn your nose up at it, can you?
Yeah.
Do you think that they will turn things around next? Who have they got next? I don't even know who they got next, to be honest.
Bafo have got they've got KARMIOTISSA and AKRITAS. So
well, look, AKRITAS they'll win because they own AKRITAS, don't they? Literally own AKRITAS.
Yeah. I mean, you know, they kind of they've got these loan deals between Bafo and AKRITAS that are a bit weird, and less said about that the better. But the KARMIOTISSA game as well. Depends who KARMIOTISSA are gonna have in charge, or, you know, the third or fourth person they'll have in charge for that week. You know, if they don't get 6 points out of that, then people are gonna start umming and ahhing about their credibility, really.
Yeah.
Best time to play these two teams, you know, when your form's starting to slip a little bit. It's best time to play them, pick up the confidence again just before the Christmas break, and then then afterwards you can kind of launch in again, kind of as you were, rather than you know with a drop in form. So let's see how they get on with that.
Absolutely. Well, before we move on to our next game, I'd just like to thank everyone who's been watching this podcast. I've had many interesting comments from people, even people that live in Cyprus that don't focus too much on the Protathlima apart from their own team. And they say, yeah, we're actually becoming more interested in the product and the game as a result of your pod. So thank you to the almost 600 people that watched last week's pod. Hopefully we can get more. And thank you to everyone outside of Cyprus, in America and Armenia, who we've had people messaging saying it's a great pod. So fingers crossed.
Thank you very much, everyone.
There you go.
All right. So, lovely stuff.
There you go. Right. Next game, my friend. Let's go with AEK. 1-0 victory against DOXA.
Yeah.
They made it difficult for themselves. I'm not going to lie, mate. I think this is the one time this season where I think AEK will count themselves very lucky that they didn't. That they came away with all 3 points. What do you reckon?
Yeah. You know, they can't just win. You know, you can't be fancy pants every week. Sometimes, you know, you gotta win ugly, and that's what they did. You know, they weren't there for a lot. they weren't at the match at all for a lot of the game. Piric had to work for his money this week. But yeah, DOXA will definitely be aggrieved that they didn't get something from the match. Whether it was because of poor finishing, Piric just being Piric, or sometimes they were just unlucky. Her first half was pretty much Ajax. The second was DOXA's. Cheo got DOXA going in the second half. I mean, even the goal that Ajax scored, it was a deflected free kick.
Yeah,
it wasn't really
what do you make of this? What do you make of this disallowed one? Because I'm not like a football coach or anything, but they played a very high line, Ajax, and they got caught with one simple ball right through the middle. Is that a cause for concern defensively, do you think?
I think they need to change it up against your PAFOS or your ARIS with the faster attackers. What they had to deal with Sadiq, who's 35, I think we said 34, 35. So he's not exactly the fastest player. So he's going to be easier to catch offside. Yeah. And even if he's not caught offside, it's easier to catch him up anyway. But yeah, against if you're playing that high line against Bafo, you've got to be very, very, very careful, because somebody like Gyro or Semedo will need more chances, but somebody like Gyro or Semedo will take advantage of that and demolish a team to deal with that. Yeah. But yeah,
absolutely. Goal disallowed there for offside.
Offside again. in the build up. Because I saw this happen live, and I was like, was he giving it offside for? But yeah, no, they did a really good decision.
Well, when I first saw it, I thought they were giving a foul right there on the post, because the way the Ajax player ended up in the back of the net. I thought, is he giving a free kick, which you could understand. But again, DOXA were getting in behind them quite frequently and quite easily as well.
Yeah, I think this is where we're going to find out whether or not Ultra has plan Bs. So obviously, if DOXA were able to catch them out on the with the through balls with the high line, then your better team. I don't want to discredit DOXA, but your better teams in the league will more than likely take advantage of that as well. So he needs to have a plan B. Maybe he will have a plan B. I guess we're gonna find out.
Absolutely.
Yeah. He's got to do something about Tchaikovsky as well. I don't know what's got. He's gone off a little bit. He's gone off the boil a little bit. He's got 122 goals in 247 games in the Protathlima, which that's like a goal every game.
Yeah.
Basically. Yeah, well, this time he's on 4 in 12, and two of them were against Olympiacos. So in the other 11 games, he's only scored 2 goals.
Yeah.
So
do you know what? I think it could be age finally catching up with him, mate.
Yeah,
that's my humble opinion. He's played a lot of games as well in the past 3 or 4 seasons. Don't forget. Yeah. So it could be catching up with him. I don't know, but then again, when you're so used to playing week in, week out, scoring goals left, right, and center, and then you're kind of second choice and then third choice starting lineup, I guess he probably feels that maybe the writing's on the wall for him, and hey, he might even end up at KARMIOTISSA.
Yeah, he needs another 2-3 years under him before he.
True, or another 20 odd.
But yeah.
How do you think DOXA will feel at the start of this season, mate? I know they're 11th, they're 3 places off bottom, but it's only 4 points behind APOEL and KARMIOTISSA in 9th and 10th, respectively. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a weird one, isn't it? Because when we were looking at it like 2-3 weeks ago, they were second from bottom or third from bottom, something like that. They were they were in bad form and things like that. But I think they got. Did they get a draw and a win before this game?
They 2 losses before. They won the last one, and before that they lost the last 2.
All right, okay. So I'm guessing the win is giving them, a bit more of a ceiling then, which is probably what's keeping Cheo in a job right now.
Yeah.
He's lasted, he's lasted quite long compared to the shelf life of a manager in Cyprus, especially down towards the bottom end of the rung. They've got APOLLON. They've got APOLLON at the Tesco, the Alfa Mera Stadium.
Fucking hell.
And sorry,
You're in France. I thought you were going to say Carrefour.
No. Carrefour's no, it's fine. Carrefour's good. No.
Oh, behave.
We've lost the Alfa Mera sponsorship now. I've done that.
Oh, come on.
But yeah, no. They've got APOLLON. They've got APOLLON in the Alfa Mera, so I don't think they're going to. Anybody thinking they're going to get a result there, they're probably hallucinating. They need to get off the. They need to get off the good stuff. And then they've got PARALIMNI. So I think Cheo's going to be concentrating on that PARALIMNI game, and if they don't get a result at the PARALIMNI game, especially since it's in Beristerona, DOXA might be thinking, people in DOXA might be thinking, we've got a Christmas break, get a new guy to look at the team over the Christmas break, and there is as well they can tell us what they need to kind of get us out of the situation that we're in at the moment. It depends.
Christmas clear out.
Yeah, exactly. It depends, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, anything could happen.
Yeah. All right, over to the new residents of the Alfa Mega Arena, APOLLON, who beat PARALIMNI by 1-0. And I didn't watch this game, but I was looking at the live score app, and it said that Bitta scored the goal. But it's actually Dingini.
Yeah.
But again, another game where APOLLON will count themselves very lucky to come away with all 3 points, because PARALIMNI were probing. And while APOLLON had their own fair share of opportunities, I think a draw would have been a fair result, in my opinion. That is.
Yeah. PARALIMNI are really trying. They're trying. They're trying to play a game. They're trying to grind these results out, but it just doesn't seem to be happening for them. But Meira, I think, and Diawara, very good players, and I'm guessing a lot of teams are going to be keeping an eye on them.
Oh, Diawara especially, 100%.
Yeah, because if APOEL decide to not keep hold of him after this loan spell, then there's going to be a lot of teams that are going to be trying to get hold of him in the summer. But yeah, on APOLLON's side, they're, all they need to do is win. They keep winning, then they're doing what they need to do. It's very, very, very shaky. There's again, there was a few missed chances for them. They got lucky a few times. Some of the shots didn't quite go out. Some of the So here's the goal here. This is again another corner routine, and a team clearing the first ball, but not dealing with the second one. Like everybody's just falling asleep. Like if you look in that replay there, you've got 4, I think the 3 or 4 APOLLON players around one PARALIMNI player.
Yep,
trying to get to the ball. Like you'll see it here. Look, there you go, 3 of them.
Take your pick. They're all lining up to head the ball.
Yeah, if it wasn't going to be De Guinea, it was going to be one of the other 2 anyway. So a lot of teams need to work on their defensive set pieces. It's not good.
Yep.
But yeah, our ball on side, they just if they keep grinding the results, that's all they need to do, isn't it?
Yeah, 2 wins from their last 3, albeit one of the games against AL was cancelled, as we already know.
Yeah.
So yeah, it will be. I know I keep saying this, but it'll be an interesting second half of the season, especially for them now that they've got a new head coach, another new head coach, should I say. January is around the corner with the transfer window opening. I'm pretty sure they'll be reinforcing various areas of the pitch. I think defensively they really need to shake things up a bit because, okay, Roberge is wrong in the 30. I don't really know if Mavrias has got a future there. I know Hamas has been in and out of the team, but aside from that, I really do think they need to fix things up a little bit. But shall we talk about the grand opening of the Alpha Mega Stadium and what happened during and then after the events?
Yeah, as The Rock would say, finally, APOLLON has come back to Golossi.
Well, I don't think you've seen this footage, so this is the first time you've feasted your eyes on this. But these were the scenes during the monumentous occasion where they, how shall we call it? Like inauguration or like a celebration? You had the fans with the pyro and everything. I've been calling them. Yeah. And these are the scenes from the next morning. Bottles, cans of beer everywhere, rubbish everywhere, graffiti on the chairs.
Already. Oh my God!
There you go. Graffiti on the chairs, graffiti on the I don't know. Is that bulletproof glass? I don't know what it's supposed to be there. Plexiglass, kind of like what they have in what's it called, ice skating. You know, there you go. All the beautiful, I don't know, arts. Work, if you want to call it.
A bunch of Banksies.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. So
Jesus Christ,
they haven't even played the game yet, and these are the scenes.
Oh my God!
Yeah, happy days, mate. Happy days. This is Cyprus.
It looks like our living room after a day of my 18-month-old playing around in it. Just toys everywhere, rattles and all kinds of stuff. Jesus Christ.
It just reminds you of, you know, when you see the scenes of these festivals that occur in Leeds and wherever you see them. I don't know, not Nebworth. What is it called? It is Nebworth, isn't it? Reading, whatever. And then you see the grass just covered in litter and crap. That's what it was. That's what it was.
Oh my God! What a just go
Tokyo,
back to...
Tokyo are crying. It's like you seen them in was it in The Simpsons where you saw a Native American? He saw all the rubbish and he had the tear. You see the Japanese look at that and the tears come out now. And they're like, we could clean that for you.
Just people's OCD just going.
Mate.
Do you think they'd get fined for bringing the pyrotechnics into the stadium?
Possibly. I don't know.
Oh my God.
Oh, I don't know, mate. I don't know. Well, there is actually one other thing I want to show you. Let's see if I can bring it back about it. These are the scenes from the toilets.
Oh my God.
God, that's look at that.
Christ.
No, I don't know whether those are tissues or I can't even make out what they are. Let me zoom in. I don't even know what they are.
The tissues.
The tissues.
Yeah, the tissues. So basically, what it is, someone's filled a bin. No one's gone to go empty it, so people have just gone.
There you go.
No, I deal with it later.
Oh my God.
Oh God.
Well, you think they're shit rags? They're legit shit rags.
No. It's the paper towels. You know, the paper towels.
Oh, from the yeah. Do you think they're those electric ones though? The sensors where you put your hand down, they go, and you have to wait another 10 minutes while you even pull it off.
Nah, man. If it was going to be one of those, you would have found that on the sink. Oh my God. Oh my God. Already. Oh.
Wait until I'll get there.
Even more. Oh dear Lord.
My days.
It really is going to turn into a Tesco Express Stadium, isn't it?
Mate, honestly, Alpha Mega are going to turn around and say, "Can we go back on our deal?" Because
oh my
Jesus. God, lovely, happy fucking days.
Yeah, I mean, have you seen the state of the roads there?
No, I haven't, but I'm glad you brought it up because I'm gonna bring it up on the screen now. This is the website that you brought to my attention. Am I correct?
Yeah, did I give you the link? Did I give you the right link?
Here we go. Limassol in sports.com. And do you know what? They're kind enough to provide a video. What's it called? It's a presentation, isn't it?
Yeah,
An online presentation, online slides. Here we go. These are the roads.
And as this is, you know, my job stuff again, kind of looking at some of this stuff, I'm like, I mean, does that look ready for taking what at least 1,000 cars, because that's how many car parking spaces the stadium has. But does this stuff look ready to you to take at least 1,000 cars in, say, a half an hour period?
It doesn't look ready to pick up people from Rumors, from Rumors nightclub in downtown Limassol. Doesn't look ready for that.
I mean, look at it. What was the first phase? What was the first phase that the minister signed off? Look at it. Look at it. I'm sorry for swearing, but I'm just getting annoyed on a professional, just on a professional status here. Like, who signed this off? As complete.
Well, at least it looks like there's someone working there. To be fair, it looks like someone's working there.
Yeah, he was having a sandwich. He wasn't working.
And they're warning us about heavy trucks, which is good. And there's a little bottle. There's a little bottle on top of the concrete.
Yeah. Yeah,
why do people put the plastic bottles on top of the? Is there like a metal?
Yeah. There's a barra sticking out, and it's basically to warn people that there's a barra there.
Oh, so it's injury prevention.
Yeah, exactly.
Health and safety in Cyprus.
Yeah,
don't put up a sign. Just put a plastic bottle on top of the metal pole.
Exactly.
Oh
God! I just. What was the first phase? Was it just that junction off the highway?
I'm guessing.
Just get them off the highway and fuck them after they get off the highway. You know what? The stadium is in Golossi, so everybody.
Beautiful area as well, man.
Yeah, it's really nice there. It's up on the hill as well, so it's really nice up there. But
not far from McDonald's.
Wow, yeah. Imagine what that McDonald's is going to be like after every game.
Whoever's got the franchise is laughing, mate. I'll tell you.
Well, yeah. As long as he's got good insurance, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
But who's? Oh, Jesus Christ! It's like right. Let's get them off the highway. After that, fucking, I don't know, man. Just chuck the car somewhere. It's fine. It's just it.
Do you know what? This reminds me of literally 5-10 minutes ago when we were talking about the litter at the stadium, how the Japanese people will be going crazy. You're the equivalent when you see those roads.
I can't.
Guys, if you want to piss off Thassos, just sending photographs of roads that aren't complete.
Please don't.
Sending photographs of roads that aren't complete in your area. Here you go. He'd be rocking in his chair like this. Fix the road, for fuck's sake, fix the road. Who decided on the first page?
Oh God! I'm telling you, people, if they haven't been sacked, they're getting sacked. It's
Well, I'll tell you what. That's a great segue. That's a great segue into the next game. Salamina beating KARMIOTISSA by 2-1. And lo and behold, today, or was it yesterday, or whenever it was, KARMIOTISSA announced the sacking of manager Charalambos. And
today, as we're recording.
Yeah. So, and his replacement looks likely to be Agathos Sofroni, the former APOEL and AEK and APOLLON head coach.
Oh, so this news basically came out like 2-3 hours before we started recording.
Yeah.
So I was worried we weren't going to have much to talk about during this game. I mean, Salamina won the game, but it's kind of like the two teams are kind of sat in mid-table. There's neither like a relegation thing going on. There's not like a top 6 promotion thing going on. Or the Salamina are probably thinking that a good run of form they can do. But yeah. KARMIOTISSA are now looking for their 4th manager of the season. Just to remind everybody, just to remind everybody, this is match day 14. So
well, at least each head coach that takes over KARMIOTISSA are guaranteed at least 3.25 games.
Exactly. And then you get paid off.
Yeah.
So I understand what Sofroni is going for. It's like the coffers are running dry. You know, I haven't had work for a few months. Go to KARMIOTISSA, earn some money, get sacked if the form doesn't pick up, and you go. I'm all right till next summer when the proper jobs come along. It's really, I don't and the way that the other thing is as well, you've got Salamina is Sal, okay, I get it. KARMIOTISSA is Garm, and it's making me think like chicken palm. You know chicken palm?
Fuck's sake.
I mean, if you want more nicknames for KARMIOTISSA.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
But yeah, it's but yeah, that's anyway. Match-wise, there's not much to talk about. It's the same thing again and again with what seems to be happening with a lot of these teams. Is defending from a corner is non-existent. It's non-existent. Basically, Salamina ended up equalizing from one.
Yep.
The second goal was from a free kick. Yeah, so here, I think this is Salamina's goal here. Yeah, there you go. Oh no, they almost missed the goal by showing the highlight. Hold on, you'll see the goal come up just right after the highlight. They go there.
Yeah, because it was Adoni that made it 2-1, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So Adoni equalized.
Yeah.
And it was Dear Cat. Was it Dear Cat that scored the second goal? It was Dear Cat, wasn't it?
Was it?
Yeah. Yeah. Zakaria Adoni made it 1-1, and then Dear Cat scored the winner.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, Dear Cat is actually Salamina's leading goal scorer now. He's got 3 goals.
Yeah. Salamina's strike force is. I see that was unlucky that they hit the bar there.
Yep.
But yeah, it's just one. That one, just one. Because I think that's their main striker for the season, isn't it? Doregaray.
Doregaray, yeah. Well, that's Adoni's goal, which was a poacher's finish.
Yeah, Doregaray would have been proud of that one. But yeah, it's. I mean, saying that about this game, this one had quite a few highlights compared to some of the other games that happened this week. Yep. So, it's going to be scrolling past for quite a while.
The thing is, though, with Salamina, they walked the second division title last season, and I'll tell you what, I like Bursa. I really like him as a coach. I think he's a very progressive coach, and he's not one of these coaches that doesn't have a plan B. I just think he's been unlucky. He was unlucky at APOEL because, let's get it right, last season when APOEL went with the Galactico signings idea, I don't think he wanted most of those players. And obviously the results weren't great. I think the writing was on the wall after the opening game when they lost 4-0 to Buffalo. So the writing was on the wall for him. And I know that he came out to speak publicly a couple months later to say, this club shat on me, so to speak. But for him to go to the second division team like Salamina, who, again, a lot was expected of them. They're probably the biggest, smaller club, if that makes sense. And to get them promoted in such emphatic style with the football that they played as well. And let's get it right. They made a lot of signings in the summer. Botiak, unfortunately, Eric hasn't worked out for them pretty well. Thiago has been okay at times. But the 2 centre-backs, as we mentioned, Dear Cat and Adoni, they've basically been holding that team together in terms of defensively and scoring goals. So look, if you're getting goals from all over the pitch, that's great. I can't see them getting relegated, but mid-table finish at best, do you think?
Well, if they're really ambitious, and you know, they get the form to pick up a bit. I don't know. I don't know if this is a big shout or not, but they might be able to squeeze into that top 6, depending on how, you know, your APOLLON, your APOEL, or your ANORTHOSIS actually pan out at the end of the season.
That's a point. That's a point.
You know, this season compared to some of the previous is a bit all over the place. Yeah. So, you know, there's that Protathlima might have them like proper gangbusters on trying to break into that top 6.
Yeah. And well, look, they're only 3 points behind OMONOIA in 6th. But the thing is, they're not scoring enough goals. They're not scoring enough. I think they've only got 14 this season. Yeah. They've conceded 18, but they've scored more goals than ANORTHOSIS, and they've only conceded 1 more. They've got the same goal difference. And defensively, they're not as bad as OMONOIA. You know, OMONOIA have conceded 15. So again, my club, which we're going to go into in just a bit, aren't doing great defensively in terms of keeping clean sheets. So while they've got an outside chance of making the top 6, I just think that APOLLON and OMONOIA and possibly ANORTHOSIS, who definitely going to strengthen in January, will have too much for them.
Yeah, but I think Protathlima has got them kind of. He's got them motivated to try and make a good go of it.
100%. And do you know what? If you told them at the beginning of the season you won't go down and there's a chance you'll finish maybe 9th or 10th, I think they'd have taken it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because I think the main aim was to make sure that they were safe. I think, and as well, you know, I see Protathlima as well trying to experiment maybe with some youngsters once they've confirmed that they can stay up. You know, when the league split. When the league split happens.
Yep. Yeah. All right, let's move over to my team, OMONOIA. 1-0 victory over AKRITAS. A very frustrating game for us as supporters. Chances created, not able to put the ball in the back of the net. A lot of time wasted from AKRITAS. But a last-minute goal, last gasp winner from Roman Bezos, or Bezos at the buzzer, as we like to say. Spares our blushes. I don't want to talk too much about this game because I did it on the podcast the other day. Right. So what are your thoughts on the game and the performance and the result, etc., etc.? Bells and whistles, yada, yada, yada.
Bezos saves.
Yeah, Bezos saves.
But no, so yeah, the OMONOIA, it seems, don't like playing AKRITAS. I think that's fair to say. You know, again, a lot of really like last-ditch defending from AKRITAS and make sure they don't concede. A lot of you know, unlucky shots, hitting the bar. You know, Berndrell decided to show up. So you
Albanian born.
Yeah. He's keeping Akos Onodi out of the team again. So the ticket's gone to 14 matches for the ex-Aston Villa goalkeeper. Still keeping an eye on that. But yeah, kind of on my end of things, right? I've seen a lot of OMONOIA fans complain about Bruno.
Yep.
And you know, I've seen, you know, you see him getting in all these positions, try the tricky stuff, so I can see how it could be a frustrating player. But kind of at the moment, he's your top goal scorer.
Yeah. The thing is with him, I've been one of his biggest critics this season, and that's purely on the basis that I think he's stat padding. In all fairness,
right?
He's a good player, but the thing is, he gets found out a lot of the time, especially when he's up against a quick fullback. Okay, in all fairness, as I said on the pod the other day, I felt sorry for him in this game because he was getting into the right areas. He was creating opportunities. He was, you could tell it just wasn't happening for him.
Yeah.
But look, at the end of the day, it's all well and good scoring a goal against DOXA and scoring against Salamina, no disrespect. But, he scored the penalty against AEK. He scored against ANORTHOSIS. He was anonymous against APOEL. He missed the penalty against AL. He missed the penalty against APOLLON. No, he scored the penalty against APOLLON, sorry. But again, it's stat padding. When you're scoring from 12 yards, for me, it doesn't make a difference.
Right.
You need to be performing and giving assists. But his best game was probably against PARALIMNI.
No disrespect to PARALIMNI.
No, it's no disrespect. It's no disrespect whatsoever. But again, look, you could say that he joined the club, and obviously there's been a lot of games played so far with Europe, and obviously you go from playing Man United to playing against, AKRITAS. It's a different kind of motivation, but
yeah,
you need to apply yourself in the league. And look, as I said the other day, on the pod, and I'll reiterate what I said, I think he had a good game against AKRITAS, and hopefully, whatever funk he was in or whatever mood he was in, he snapped out of it, and he's going to start performing. But I need to ask you about Roman Bezos, man, because he's another player who I've been very critical of for various reasons. And as I said on the pod the other day, he came on the field. The first bit of action he was involved in, he gave the ball away, which almost led to a goal. The second piece of action was him taking a corner, which didn't beat the first man. And then moments later, the ball goes up the field, and he ends up doing a 1-2 with the defender, which I'm not sure he knew too much about, and he's put it in the back of the net with a fantastic finish. What do you make of this player, mate?
I mean, he came with a lot of expectation. He just hasn't delivered on it, has he? It's just not happened for him, whether that's because of injury or because of confidence issues or what have you. I don't know. I don't know what I don't know what's keeping him back, but he's definitely not performing for the kind of name he is and he's come through for.
I don't think a change in manager helps, though, to his defense. And he has had injuries as well, and he's played in various positions. He's played as a number 9, he's played as a number 10, he's played as a number 8, and even as a winger. Guggle with a great chance there, should have scored that. Well, but again, I just think that perhaps he's another one that's needed time. People say to me that the war in Ukraine has had something to do with it, but
it could do. You can't.
I don't know.
Some other Ukrainian players have kind of kicked on.
Yeah.
Kind of as a motivating factor to kind of.
I just hope that it's,
better.
I mean, I just hope that the goal was giving him the confidence to kick on, because we need big game players, and with the goal that he scored, which we're going to see in a moment, he's got it in him. Yeah. So again, it could be just getting used to this new head coach and his style, and I don't know, but whatever. The way I see it, a lot of OMONOIA fans were pissed off with the performance and that we didn't win convincingly. But for me, a win is a win at the end of the day, mate.
I mean, Bezos got voted MVP for the match.
Yeah, probably because he got the winner.
Okay, I was going to ask your opinion about that, because I saw that come up on Twitter, like this afternoon, where he got MVP. Yeah, I was like, I mean, he came off the bench. There's probably a couple of other players that would probably deserved it a bit more.
Yeah, but probably Lesiak's would be my but yeah.
Was the referee the only one who thought that was a penalty?
Yes.
Because you see Babu Lee gets back up and goes, right, I want the corner, please. Like, he goes, I want the corner, please. And then so does who else was there? It was Lesiak as well, and Barker. All of them were going like, corner? corner, and he blew for the penalty.
Well, I think it's because of the angle that the referee was looking at. He was behind it, wasn't he? So when you see the ball moving and where it went, I mean, it was a great challenge. But here's the goal. Poor touch from Gusso, goes straight to Bezos. There you go. Plays the 1-2 with defender. And that's a great finish, man. Great finish.
Sweet as a nut, I think, is what you say down in London, isn't it?
That's it. I'd like to think that when he cupped his ears, he was aiming at me because a few weeks ago I said he needs to fuck off. I think that's what it was. I think that's what it was. But no, it was a great finish, man. Great finish. And under that pressure, last minute, literally last kick of the game as well. There was a bit of afters as well. I don't know if you saw. They didn't show it on the highlights, but at full time, there was a whole heap of people arguing with each other on the bench, and one of the AKRITAS staff got sent off. One of the OMONOIA staff got sent off. I just think it was just either over celebrating or people just winding each other up. I know AKRITAS were time wasting a lot, which was quite frustrating. That could have been part of it. It could have been like, yeah, I'll have some of that kind of thing. But some shenanigans that weren't shown.
Yeah, I mean, you saw that goal was in like the 6th minute of injury time.
Yep.
So yeah, they're time wasting, but they took account of it in the additional time. So at least that was at least that was sorted out properly. But yeah, no, I didn't see that, but I'm pretty sure we'll see it in the Digastiga.
Oh, of course, 100%, 100%.
Something will appear.
Yeah,
I'll send everybody off in a tizzy again.
All right, let's move on to another game. ANORTHOSIS drawing against Olympiacos, but you said that they would lose this one, and they almost did. They almost did,
didn't they? And it's just because of they were playing at home, which they seem to be doing as well as, and they keep missing chances, just chance after chance after chance after chance. I think they had. I think I looked it up. They had 9 shots at goal.
Yep.
In this match, 1 was on target.
And that was Varda's.
I mean, you only need to get the 1 on target as long as you don't concede.
Yep, that's right.
But it's just so wasteful, so wasteful.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, mate. Before we carry on about ANORTHOSIS, there was one moment in this game which I think is obviously going to be shown in just a moment, where Olympiacos possibly, in fact, I think definitely should have had a penalty for a foul on one of their players in the box. And I even now I watch it again, and when we're gonna bring up on the screen, I still cannot understand how a penalty was not given for this challenge, because it was absolutely disgusting, man. It was one of those where no matter how many times you look at it, I can't think of any reason why a penalty wasn't given. I'm just waiting for it to come up on the screen. I think this might be it. No, yeah, this is it. He's got him right. He studied his ankle, man.
Like, I really don't know. I think the only reason would have been maybe because it was accidental, because he cleared the ball.
It's a follow through though.
Yeah.
Look at that. Yeah, I've seen players in Cyprus get sent off for that, winning the ball, and the follow through does it. You can understand why the Olympiacos players are pissed off.
Oh no, I would be wound up as well. So I think here he tried to make up for it.
Yeah, it's a second yellow.
He does it because he
doesn't touch him.
I don't think he doesn't touch him. I don't think he touches him. But I think he's made up for that mistake.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of that seems to happen in Cyprus, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh,
referees undoing their mistake.
Here's a free one for you. Can't we?
Oh, a goal! Here comes the goal. The Varda header. Here we go.
It's a really good header. It's a really good header. You know.
Yep.
Simple stuff. You know, cut the fancy shit out. Just try the simple stuff, and look at that. You get a goal, and you go.
He runs to the fans
again.
Yeah. But this time it's for a good reason.
Yeah. And then,
boy.
Yeah, and then I think the Olympiacos goal is going to come up in a second as well. And
that's right,
we're going to enjoy that when that comes up. It's
well, look, Car was influential in this one, because he's a very, very good player. I think he's very underrated. And okay, before we talk about it, was this a handball? Do you think this should have been a?
I don't know. I don't know. I think he was pushed.
Yeah.
And his arms come out like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think.
Well, do you know what's funny about this? He's been pushed onto the ball, so that's a foul on the defender. The referee's given a penalty. It goes to VAR. He then decides that it's a free kick on the edge of the box. Now, as far as I'm aware, if that ball's gone out for a corner or a goal kick, you don't give a free kick after VAR, do you?
Well, no, because they were still checking it for handball, whether or not it was in. There's the goal.
Strike.
But yeah, I think what they did, I think they were checking for the handball, and they were thinking, is it a penalty or is it a free kick? It wasn't necessarily got to do with the. It's not necessarily got to do with whether or not it was a free kick against the defender. But
yeah, but what I'm saying is he should have given a corner, if anything, because it was a defender that knocked it out for a corner. If it's not a handball.
Yeah, that's a corner. It shouldn't have been a free kick. The defender got pushed over, and that's why his arm came out like that, and he ended up.
And the other thing, under the FIFA law, if it's a foul or a handball right on the line, then it's a penalty. But he's given the free kick right on the line. Like, you completely fucked this up, mate.
Yeah, the referees had a nightmare this game, man. Yeah, exactly. Oh, and the other thing, right? Aris comes on and does that.
How's that for a first touch, mate?
Jesus Christ!
This is the same guy that missed the sitter last week.
If he was a horse,
is that a riddle?
No, it's like you buy a racehorse, right? And he keeps performing the way that Aris does as a striker. What would you do? What would you do to him?
You would put a gun to the back of his head and yeah. I'm not saying we'd do that to Aris, man.
No, we're not going to do that to him. But what I'm saying is, it's not going well. I mean, I've got some stats here. He's played 680 minutes of football this season, right?
Yeah.
That's 7.5.
Where did you join him from? Do you know?
I didn't look that up.
Okay, I'm curious to know.
Just looking at what he was doing this season, but right, he's 680 minutes. He's played basically 7.5 games, and he has 1 assist. You could do a highlight reel of all his misses, but it would take up like the full length of the podcast, and it'll just be us going like this.
Hands on face, one of those.
Hands on face. Yeah.
Now this is a signing made under Larco, who did things very different to what ANORTHOSIS were kind of used to. I mean, let's get it right. They were used to signing a lot of Georgian players for a start. So signing French players perhaps wasn't the best of ideas. But the thing is, I think Aris can count himself very lucky that the ANORTHOSIS fans haven't taken out their frustrations on him, because once again, their ultras took to the internet, or they wrote a statement or something along the lines of, it's time for POULLAIDES to go, the president of the club. We found out the other week from our friend, the ANORTHOSIS supporter. Let's find his Twitter out so I can give him his flowers and give him his dues. ANORTHOSIS talker, but talker, get it? See how he did that? He said the Bahrain reference is because that's where POULLAIDES is based. That's where he made his money. Flies to Cyprus like once a month, and that's another thing people hold against him. He can't run the club via emails and video calls. So that's why last week they were saying that you can take his money back to Bahrain, or he should take his money to Bahrain. But the Ultras came out with a statement. I'm going to try and translate it while I'm doing this here. They want the immediate removal of the POULLAIDES family. So they issued a statement, and they said, we wanted to make an announcement sooner, but for obvious reasons, we remain silent for the sake of changes. I guess they were giving him a bit of time to make the necessary changes. But the same, unfortunately, the club is faltering. We wanted to position ourselves after a meeting that took place at the family's home on the 24th of November. And I don't know, again, too much about this, but apparently there was a meeting at POULLAIDES' house with him and I guess the execs, and a speech was leaked to the media. And he said that he might leave in May or he might leave in 3 years' time, but they want him to leave immediately. But they want to clarify the legal and the financial obligations as well, so that the club isn't left in the shit, basically, because we know what happened with ANORTHOSIS when they qualified for the Champions League many years ago. The then owner disappeared to Bulgaria, making away with 10 to 20 million euros in a fucking bag. But yeah, so it's a fucking mess at the club. And again, I think a lot of the players who are underperforming are hiding behind what's happening there. Warriors being one of them.
Yeah, I mean, as I was saying, their away form is a lot better than their home form, and obviously the reason the away form's better is you've got, just for better or worse, grounds at the other teams restrict the amount of away fans, regardless of how big the team is. So you're not going to have as many fans the away matches that would be, kind of not necessarily going after the players, but go negatively after the people, people behind the club, and that obviously rubs off on the players. And kind of, I think it's kind of the reason why your man Warda keeps getting involved with the fans, because he's trying to kind of gear them up, pick them up, do something with them, like to get them behind the team rather than against what's going on behind the scenes.
I tell you what, I love how the ultras are very particular in how they word things as well, because they're pissed off, but they put it in a way where it's like, this is how it's going to be, whether you like it or not. I mean, the ending of this statement is brilliant. They go, there is much more to write, but we don't need to, and we hope we don't have to go through this again. Your next letter or post should simply be your removal. We said it again. How simple you leave or how easy you leave, or whichever way you leave is completely up to you. But the only given grace is that you will be leaving this summer. It was like, wow, okay, fair enough. And it goes, P.S. the level of abuse we are giving you at the end of every game has exceeded even our own expectations. It's like, we expected to give you this much abuse, but we're giving you this much, which is a lot more than what we expected.
Yeah, even normal fans are taking the piss. What's going on?
It's fucking amazing. I love it. I just love the vocabulary used. It's just, I mean, obviously I might have mistranslated a little bit of it, and I'd like to know people's thoughts on this, but I think it's absolutely brilliant. And I think there was another story which I forgot to mention. Yeah, a 27-year-old supporter who attended the ANORTHOSIS game a few weeks ago, the game where the ANORTHOSIS fans really showed their anger and ended up throwing flares on the pitch. A 27-year-old has been fined €1,000 for throwing objects onto the pitch.
Yeah.
But they didn't say which team he supported.
Okay.
But it says he has to present himself at a specific police station during his team's matches.
During the matches. Good.
Yeah,
good.
during the matches,
they heard us about the Salamina guy last week.
Yeah. So yeah, there you go. Happy fucking days. Happy days.
Oh man, it's a circus.
Yep, it is indeed. It is indeed. Right, mate. One more game to discuss. There haven't been that many goals this weekend, as the title says. More shenanigans than goals. In fact, Salamina, there was 3 goals in that game. 1 for OMONOIA, that's 4. AEK 5. APOLLON 6. APOEL 7-8-9, ANORTHOSIS 10-11, and the final game AL 0, ARIS 0. A game which ARIS will be a little bit disappointed they didn't win. There was a chance from Stepinski in the second half, which he hit the bar. I think it was easier to score than hit the bar. Having spoken to a friend that has got a bit of interest in AL, he reckons that a little bit of, how shall we put it, tomfoolery or jiggery pokery happened there. Perhaps he was suggesting that Stepinski missed that chance deliberately. I'm not saying that he did. I'm just saying that was the suspicion.
Okay.
But yeah, thoughts on the game, mate? Thoughts on the game?
The last game at the Tyrion for these teams. I mean, you probably think KARMIOTISSA and you know, other Lemeso area teams will be playing there. But you know, for the big three Lemeso teams, you know, this is the last game. What a spectacle! Oh, such a great game. You know, you know, there obviously there was a few chances, especially on Aris' side of things. There was just looking at that shot that you mentioned there previously. I mean, you can't that just looked like he was trying to bury it in the
top bin,
top bin, and just put a little bit too much on it. But yeah.
This was an interesting one, the red card.
Yeah.
Another interesting decision.
Well, you say that, but I don't know.
I think there was a little bit of intention there, to be honest. I think he deliberately did that.
Yeah,
I think he thought he could get away with it.
I saw it like 3 or 4 times, and I stopped the video and kind of looked at it, kind of like what they're doing here, and I was like, that looks like he's done that on purpose. He's done that on purpose. He's the last man. You know,
I think he knew he was going to get a skin for pace.
Yeah,
I think he knew he was going to get done for pace. Panicked.
Once he came back from the VAR check, if I was him, I would just put my head down and just kept on walking.
Yeah. But yeah, Aris had enough chances to win the game, though. In all fairness, mate,
they really did. They really did. Yeah. I mean, Muriel Becker's kept him in the game. You know, got him one more point, another clean sheet. He's been the player of the season for him. You know, they made all these attacking signings, and he's been their star player. Bunch of muppets.
They say the Premier League has got the 2 best Brazilian goalkeepers, but I think the Protathlima, we've got something to say as well, because we've got Van Alves at Aris and we got Muriel Becker. So,
exactly. Yeah. I'm sure Muriel and Alison, they get together every so often and discuss what kind of shenanigans they're having to deal with.
What do you think they swap? Do you think Muriel was actually at the World Cup and Alison's at AL?
That would be great. What, Alison's wearing a fake beard?
Possibly.
Compared to his brother. I don't know.
It's like you see that really crap disguise, isn't it, with the glasses and the nose?
Yeah, exactly.
He's got the stick-on beard.
Put the fake nose back on.
Like Teixeira turns around and goes, "You look different today, Muriel. You look different."
Yeah.
I don't know what you mean.
I still have a girl's name. It's okay.
Behave.
But yeah, you know, I really like. I put AL to lose that game. I'm gonna put AL to lose every single fucking game from now on. I can't.
Oh mate,
I just they've disappointed me so much, just with all the just all the disappointment, man. I mean, I don't even support AL, and I feel like I want to burn down the Tyrio. So I kind of understand.
Well, their fans tried starting it themselves.
Exactly. So,
Blimey. Well, news has just, well, no, I would say just news for this afternoon. According to 24 Sports, developments are underway at AL and a potential new investor from an Arabic nation. Apparently, they're in line for a takeover.
Yeah, it's Poullaide just just changing clubs.
Well, you think Sophocles just picked up the phone to Poullaide saying,
Yeah.
if you think your team is bad,
No,
hold my beer, hold my girl, hold my Cuba. Basta tingguan
oh,
pure.
oh dear.
Oh, mate. So yeah, how do you think that would work out? Apparently, an Arab investor is interested in taking over AL.
Well, I mean, the problem with AL isn't the money that's been thrown at it. A lot of money's been thrown at AL, especially this summer, and the money's done nothing. It's not. It's like with a lot of these clubs. I got a comment on Twitter earlier on with regards to what happened with KARMIOTISSA, is that none of these clubs plan for the future. It's for the right now.
Yeah.
And as a lot of the AL, case in point, they went and threw all this money on all this money on all these marquee players. You know, players where you look at it and AL signed who? Where the hell did that come from? Kind of thing.
Yep.
And it's just not happened. It's just not happened. I mean, there's a lot of. Go on, sorry.
I had a lot of faith in Lazar Pavlovich, but he's hardly played. I don't know what. I know he's picked up an injury. I think it was in the cup game against was it Ethnikos they played. But the big loss for them is Hugo Basto. He's out for the season now.
Yeah.
Stretch it up.
I saw him. Yeah, he was put on the little cart, wasn't he?
Yep.
Yeah. So that's another that's another thing that's going to affect their results going forward. So yeah, they're not having a good time. ARIS, on the other hand, doing just fine.
Yeah. They'll be happy with their league position so far. I'm assuming anyway. I don't know.
Yeah.
But hey, all right. Shall we move on to one final segment? And we can't not talk about match fixing in Cyprus, can we?
Yeah.
Go on. What's your match fixing update? Your red envelope update?
2 more red envelopes have gone out since. I mean, a lot of people would have forgotten about both of these because they kind of came out before press conferences and matches and all the other shenanigans. But basically, there's been two more matches that have been looked at by UEFA. But yeah, basically, POX Xilodimbo have been fined 50k for weird betting patterns in their game versus Omonia Radipo. Like with all the processes that they get, like with the other game we talked about, they were allowed to put a case forward and get their legal representatives in line and get stuff sorted. So Omonia Radipo put a very detailed case to basically say, reasoned argument to basically say why they weren't involved, mostly to do with kind of the betting patterns involved them not being not being able to score or keeping it. I can't remember what the details were on their end, but basically the Digasti agreed with them, whereas Xilodimbo sent absolutely nothing. Like, I'm no snitch. I'm not telling anybody nothing. So basically, the Digastis find them 50k.
Snitches get stitches.
Exactly. Now, the reason why Xilodimbo have been fined 50,000 euros and the AES and Olympias Olympion haven't is because in that other game, they couldn't find who was who was the one who gained, who was fixing the match. So they basically kind of divided it a little bit to say like, all right, we don't know who it is, so we're going to cut funding off for the both of you for the rest of the season. Whereas with Silodimbo, they fined them 50,000 euros. 50,000 euros doesn't sound like a lot of money in football terms in quite a few places. In Gibro, especially in the second division, that's like millions, basically. Compared to it's a massive fine. Now, again, the only reason I found this out is because I had to go through 4 pages of Laurneziga to get to where I needed to get to. But anyway, the way it works is if you know a specific team is at fault, the first offence is a 50k fine. The second offence is a 50k fine and a 6-point deduction and no promotion if you get into the promotion places. And the third offence is, right, you're out of the league and we're taking all the funding off you for the season. And then the fourth offence is a 100,000 euro fine, and then you're kicked out of the league for 5 years. And then what they've said is any previous offences count for 3 years. It's like points on your license. You know, if you wait long enough, it disappears, and then you can match fix again. And then kind of at the end of this 4-page blah, there was the Gasti kind of at the end said, he has immediate worries that this is the second case he's had to review in the last month. Now, after the big old thing of the Nico Di Gasti, doing all the fines and punishments for all the things that happen in the stadiums and people drinking and getting sent off and beating up each other and whatever, they had this come up, which is why nobody, it was like right at the bottom of the page of all the other things. So you had APOEL and ANORTHOSIS and everybody else complaining about away fans being banned for one game, and each of them for what happened. So nobody talked about the thing at the bottom, which was hidden right at the bottom, which was this. Like, it hasn't been mentioned anywhere. I've not seen it anywhere. Like, nowhere, nobody on the news has discussed it. However, what they did discuss is a second one, which I still haven't been able to find many details on, but there was a cup match between Guerinha and ANORTHOSIS. The ANORTHOSIS won 4-1. As soon as the information got leaked, because I'm guessing people weren't supposed to know, as soon as that information got leaked that the match was being investigated, the chairman from the Guerinha team came out unequivocally to call whoever was involving the team in their match fixing are abadeones, and that they will cooperate fully. And then ANORTHOSIS released a quick statement saying, we declare surprise and we don't know anything.
It's like the police officer in South Park. Move along, nothing to see here.
But the thing is, right, it's happened, and all morning, all the sports websites were like, all morning, and then after lunchtime, nothing.
Disappears.
Yeah, because, again, APOEL came out and was like, don't let our away fans go to one match because of one thing happening with 100 people. And everybody jumped on that bandwagon instead.
Yep.
Yeah. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane things. Yeah, away fans are banned for one game and everybody loses their mind. Like, we completely forgot about the match fixing, which is the much more serious thing.
Well, the thing is, Dimitris Christoforou, who's the communications guy at ANORTHOSIS, was talking to Gerkida, the website, the other day, and he was basically saying, why can't we bring in referees from leagues that have been suspended because of the World Cup. So, for example, Premier League referees, because he's too busy pissed off with the Cypriot referees. So, again, I don't know if that is deflecting attention from his club's poor form, or the fans turning on the owner, or just this whole situation with the match fixing, because you know they really don't want this on their heads as well. It's been a disastrous season from start to even now, and I think it's gonna be a disaster from start to finish. So this is another thing which they obviously don't want on their heads. It's this is Mappa, this is Cyprus.
I don't know, man. I don't know, man. It's absolute insanity. I mean, if you want a Premier League referee, you're going to pay him Premier League wages. Who's going to pay him? You're going to pay him? Are you, man from ANORTHOSIS, are you going to pay him? Are you going to pay him with that money you made from the match fixing, allegedly?
Well, I'll tell you what, shall we switch gears and talk about one final thing, and that's away fans being banned?
Yeah.
The police got their wish. The police got their wish.
For one game.
They wrote to God. Yeah. They got their wish though. Yep.
Yeah. APOEL, ANORTHOSIS, APOLLON, and AL fans have been banned from attending the next away game pending appeals, because APOEL were allowed to let fans go to PAFOS, for instance. That's why you could see a load of fans celebrating there, even though the punishment was for them to not be there. So APOEL came out like all guns blazing, like massive press statement, trying to throw everyone under the bus, saying that it's insane that thousands of fans are banned from away matches for the action of 100 people. So, what are these 100 people that APOEL are referencing? What they've done over the season? So they've got onto the pitch and had a Jedi battle with APOLLON fans using advertising hoardings. Remember the pictures, all that business. They brought in banned materials such as flares and firecrackers into the stadiums on multiple occasions. They've used laser pointers on opposition players on at least 3 separate occasions that they've been done for. Destruction of stadium property three times. I think twice the stadium was the Rasi B, so the home ground. Fighting between APOEL and ARIS fans, and throwing things onto the pitch on multiple occasions. Now, and that's just this season. Now, I'm not being hard on APOEL in particular. I'm not trying to be, but the reason that I'm going in like is because of how they went in with the punishment. Because ANORTHOSIS also came out with a press statement saying that the punishment was abhorrent and they will no longer bow their heads when the punishments come in, because Cypriot clubs do not complain at all once when a punishment gets brought down because of certain behaviors. You never see them complain about it. But anyway, AL got banned. AL away fans got banned as well. But that's still got nothing to do with what happened at the Tyrion. They haven't delivered a verdict on that yet.
They haven't, but have you heard what happened today?
No.
Well, basically, there was a meeting between the Minister for Justice and Public Order and the Chief Constable. Yeah. And basically, they came up with 4 pillars, so to speak, 4 topics of discussion. So basically, increasing the number of stewards in stadiums, additional police measures, measures in cooperation with the Cypriot FA and other competent bodies, I use that term loosely, and legislative measures. So I don't know whether that's going to increase the security or increase the power of the fan card or the checking procedure. I don't know. But they decided that they're going to hold a meeting, and apparently the president of GOP is going to be there. along with the Cyprus Sports Organization, the Cypriot FA representatives. There's going to be representatives of the 5 major stadiums. So the Gazibi, Alpha Mega, Andonis Papadopoulos, the AEK Arena, and the Stelios Kyriakidis Stadium. Yeah. So apparently they're going to have this meeting so they can discuss the measures to implement, because apparently they reckon that by working as a collective, they can stamp out violence in stadiums, which, yeah.
Right. The problem is, yeah,
a lot to unpack here. More than Boxing Day.
There's so many sides. There's so many sides. Problem is, no one is right. No one is right. Everyone is absolutely wrong about how they went about doing things, how they go about doing things. Maybe they all bang their heads together and they come out with the Desera and Gurka, if you ask me, not pillars. Massive Angurka Zava.
Desera Rebagnare.
You know, 2 of them there. 2 of them there. There you go. Maybe they come up with something, but looking at how it's worked in the past, do you think they'll come up with something?
Not a chance. Oh, no, they'll come up with something to say that they'll come up with something. Mate, how many times have you been to Cyprus, and when you're at the traffic lights and the lights are red, how many times have people gone past that red and said, yeah, it's okay?
Yeah, even when the camera's there. Nice.
There you go. Yeah. Mate, when I went last October, I was driving up that fucking highway on the way back from Lefkosia to Oroglini, and I didn't see one police car for about 20 kilometers, if not less than that, yeah? And by the time I got into Oroglini, there was 2 police cars, one behind the other, on the hard shoulder. They were just talking. Cuvendes, man. That's it.
I mean,
conversations.
Yeah. But I mean, that's
so how they're going to implement any ideas to stamp out? They can't do it, because if you stamp out crowd violence, that means you're going to have to stamp out the ultras, and the ultras are the ones that sell tickets, that buy the tickets. Sorry, they're the ones that buy the tickets. It's going to be like COVID all over again.
Yep.
Look at the Omonia fixture the other day. Only 3,000 people showed up for the AKRITAS game. Yeah, 9,000 season ticket holders. And out of those 9,000, only 3,000 people. And that might not be 3,000 season ticket holders. It might be 2,500 and 500 general sale. You never know. So if the team ain't doing well, who's going to show up? Well, ALS fans are showing up, but those are mostly the ultras. Take the ultras away from the situation. It's an empty stadium. Yep. It's an empty Tesco stadium.
Yep. It'll be like a plastic bag blowing in the wind.
Yeah. Pretty much.
No, it's top to bottom. Everybody's wrong.
Yep.
Clubs, fans, Cyprus FA.
No one's going to put their hands up and say, we fucked up.
Vuleftes, everybody. We're wrong as well.
Yeah, clearly.
What is wrong?
The people that are fixing the roads around the Alpha Mega Arena, they're wrong as well.
Don't get me started. Listen, if you're gonna get started on that, there's one more thing I want to bring up that I didn't put in the notes. Right, of all the things OMONOIA get fined for, they get fined for the fans throwing stuff at the ball boys. It's like, what have OMONOIA fans and Eden Hazard got in common? They don't like them ball boys.
Bless.
Bless. So now you can go on a bit more about the roads.
There you go. Well, I think that's it for another episode. I think we've done well to keep it an hour and a half. But thank you again for your time, mate. And we have a special guest planned. I'm just waiting for him to confirm the day and the time. I don't know if you'll be able to do it, because obviously it might be outside of his coaching hours or his training hours or his playing hours. I don't know. But once I find out, I'll let you know, and I'll announce it as well on social media. I'm excited about this one. I'm not going to mention it just yet, just in case it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But very excited. One guy who we've mentioned on this pod a couple of times. One moment in particular, which we're not going to discuss again. I'm not going to actually, Joe. I think we should mention it to him when he comes on, just in case he has something to say. But yeah, he's a good chap. We've had a few conversations in the past few days, and he seems all right. So that's it for another episode of This Is Mappa. We're on Twitter at This Is Mappa. We're also on Shoot the Defense, and yeah, that's all. Plug your shit.
There we go. Twitter at Flares Gaffes. I'm going to get the Instagram out as well. It's Gaffes and Flares, which is the correct way round. Twitter did me in. But yeah, on Instagram.
Did you dirty?
Yeah, on it. Yeah, because apparently Gaffes and Flares was taken already on Twitter. I don't know what the hell that was about.
Okay.
Whatever. But anyway, Gaffes and Flares on Instagram. At Flares Gaffes on Twitter.
Excellent. So that's it for another episode. We'll be back next week for sure. Hopefully with a double episode, actually. There'll be a match review and hopefully an interview. So that's it, boys and girls. Thank you very much for tuning, and we're out. Adios. Laters. After, as they say.